Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome to my channel. Valentine's Day is just a few days away, so if you're looking for some feel-good romance fun, I am here to suggest the best romance movies that you can find on streaming, from Hulu to Netflix and Amazon Prime. I'm going to take a moment to just pat myself on the back right now because I think I've come up with a pretty solid list. I've got romantic comedy, some good drama, but you'll also be able to tell that I'm single as hell, so don't be surprised to see some depressing shit pop up in here. Alright, let's get things started. With number 10, I've got a great romantic comedy, and that's No Strings Attached. Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher star as two people engaging in a no-strings-attached sexual relationship, and of course they fall for each other, because that's always how it works. Natalie Portman is like a doctor and Ashton Kutcher is a slacker, so they're like, this totally isn't ever gonna work, but the sex is so good, so let's keep doing it. But of course, they fall for each other. What I really like about this one is that it plays up the comedy aspects. It even has Greta Gerwig as the funny best friend. It's really quite a funny movie, and it isn't too sappy or sentimental. In fact, it even makes the romance feel a tad realistic. If you haven't seen No Strings Attached, do not let the romantic comedy bias fool you. This is a legitimately good comedy. And you can find it streaming on Hulu, and I think Amazon Prime as well. I could be wrong about that one, but what I do know is streaming on Amazon Prime is number 9, and that is Gloria Bell. This is one of my favorite gems from last year that never seemed to catch on with audiences, but now that it's streaming, hopefully everyone will give it a chance. This is the remake of the Chilean film Gloria from 2013, which was directed by Sebastian Lelio. He came back to direct this English language remake with Julianne Moore as Gloria, a woman in her 50s looking for love in LA nightclubs. Oh, it's adorable. It's got a great 80s synth pop soundtrack running throughout. She begins seeing a man played by John Turturro, and they form this relationship, but you know, it's really more about Gloria's path to self-love and how she explores herself and discovers herself and blossoms even in middle age. It's really quite adorable, and it's a great story about self-love. So I'd say this is a perfect Valentine's Day recommendation for fellow singles out there. At number 8, I have Her, a drama set in the near future starring Joaquin Phoenix as the writer of a greeting card company who begins a relationship with his phone. Yep, you heard that right. This is probably exactly where the future is going. Our main character gets a new iOS system, voiced by Scarlett Johansson, that is supposed to be the perfect partner. And they do become partners. And no, this is not the typical romance. It is definitely quirky and interesting, but I'll tell you, it's the real deal, because it was nominated for Best Picture, and it won Best Original Screenplay. Even though this movie is quite melancholy, it is masterfully made, and the emotions are so heartfelt and real that it couldn't not be on this list. You can find it streaming on Netflix, as well as my number 7 pick, The Spectacular Now. Another film from 2013, The Spectacular Now is based on the book by Tim Tharp. It stars Miles Teller as a hard-partying teenager who meets the sweet girl next door type played by Shailene Woodley, and she helps him change his outlook on life. This is a teen romance done right, because the chemistry between the two leads is exceptional, and it is just so well directed. Everything is felt so richly in this film. It is one of the best teen romances I've ever seen, and it's one of those hidden gems from the 2010s that everyone needs to check out. It is so adorable that I would go to say that it has like the sweetest sex scene. I would actually call it a love scene. It's that adorable. For number 6, I have Just Married, another Ashton Kutcher romantic comedy. This is another one that happens to focus on the comedy in a way that entertains me a whole bunch, because this stars Brittany Murphy, R.I.P., with Ashton Kutcher. They are a pair of newlyweds who go on their honeymoon in Europe, and everything goes wrong. Everything is working against this couple. It seems that everything from Brittany Murphy's character's rich family to, you know, the European outlets, they're all out to ruin this marriage and to separate them. But the chemistry between the two leads is so sweet, and the comedy is, it's silly, it's slapstick, but it's good stuff, and it's just an adorable little romantic comedy. This is one that I think you've probably seen before and went, oh yeah, that exists. Valentine's Day is the perfect time to give this one a rewatch. Just Married is currently streaming on Hulu. And back to Netflix, we have number 5, probably the most Valentine's Day movie on this list, and that is The Notebook. How could I not pick The Notebook? Duh! This movie pretty much started the Nicholas Sparks adaptation trend, so maybe no one should ever talk about The Notebook again. I know that I never wanted to see it in the first place. I was dragged to it by my mom and sister, and I ended up crying like 3 times. This movie is a trap. I don't even want to talk about it too much because you could get sucked in too easily. This movie, the chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams, it's palpable! Just try and escape The Notebook. I dare you! If you're still in the mood to cry your damn eyes out, my number 4 pick is If Beale Street Could Talk. Based on the novel by James Baldwin and directed by Moonlight director Barry Jenkins, If Beale Street Could Talk is a love story about the time not spent between 2 lovers. This movie is heartbreaking. It follows Fonny, a young man who is sent to prison for a crime he didn't commit, leaving his lover Tish pregnant and disheartened and alone as she is fighting for his freedom. This movie is a tough watch. It is so sad and borders on depressing, but then it's uplifting, but it's really quite depressing. And it's so much, but it is so beautifully made. It is so emotionally powerful. If Beale Street Could Talk is on Hulu. If you have not seen it, it came out a couple years ago. If you missed it, now is your time to check it out. At number 3, I have Blue Is the Warmest Color, cause you knew I had to sneak a gay one on here somewhere. But this is one of my favorite films of all time. This epic French lesbian love story is based on a graphic novel, and it follows teen Adele as she is wrestling with her sexuality. She's coming to terms with herself when she meets the blue-haired Emma, who rocks her world and opens her up to just a new form of love, and it's just so beautiful. It's so well made. It's downright pornographic. It's 3 hours long. This movie is a whole lot of things. It might not be for everyone, but damn is it so good. While it's large in scope, this tracks more than just a teen romance. This is about years of a relationship unfolding and how it affects the 2 people, and oh my god, it is downright heart-wrenching, which is exactly why I have to recommend it, because misery loves company. It's streaming on Netflix. I just don't know what else to say, but go watch it. At number 2, I have What Men Want, because we gotta have fun this Valentine's Day. And this is probably the perfect girls' night chick flick. In this recent romantic comedy, Taraji P. Henson stars as this rough and tough businesswoman who is taking the world on, and she ends up having a wild night out and ends up gaining the ability to read men's thoughts, and so she uses that not only in her romantic life, but also her work life. And you know, this movie's kind of overstuffed. It's loaded with maybe one too many subplots, but I really enjoy that about this film. I think it's a really full portrait of this character going through this experience, and the romance she has with Aldous Hodge, it's so good. This movie is just, it was a lot more entertaining than I expected it to be. I thought this was going to be a really stupid movie, but it blew me away. I had a lot of fun with it. It's really funny, and that is exactly what you want out of a fun Valentine's Day movie. This one is on Hulu and Amazon Prime. And at number 1, it's Bridget Jones's Diary. Based on the novel by Helen Fielding, in this movie, Renee Zellweger stars as English 30-something Bridget Jones. She makes the New Year's resolution to improve her life, so she begins filling out a diary with all of her personal information being 100% honest. And while she gets into a slew of embarrassing situations, she juggles the affections of her cocky boss, played by Hugh Grant, and a disagreeable yet charming family friend, played by Colin Firth. This one is the perfect Valentine's Day recommendation. Whether you're in a relationship or you're single, this has enough of the self-love as well as finding love. It's just plain fun. It has plenty of self-deprecating humor towards Bridget, but Renee Zellweger plays the role so well that you can't help but relate to her. You feel every moment that she slips up, and then every moment she gets a little win. Bridget Jones is the character to root for, and you can find it on both Hulu and Amazon Prime. I'm pretty sure the sequels are on one of the two or both of the two. Oftentimes a lot of movies are on Hulu and Amazon Prime. It's like, do I need both? Yes, I do anyway. But while I have you, I have a couple of honorable mentions that I thought I'd throw at you because, you know, maybe this isn't the perfect recommendation because I happen to like really depressing movies, but Blue Valentine is an excellent movie about a relationship falling apart, which, you know, maybe not the best Valentine's Day recommendation, but it's certainly my kind of romance. I love it. I think it is a fantastic film, and right now it's on Netflix if you do want to go through that pummeling. And because you know what, I am a horror guy, I really wanted to put this on the list, but I figured I would just save it for this moment. Honeymoon is a thriller on Hulu that is just so good. Don't worry, I'm not going to say too much. If you are someone that is in the mood for a horror romance, then you definitely should check this out if you haven't already. Don't read into it at all. Don't look it up. Just go in knowing it is about a couple recently married. They are on their honeymoon in a cabin in the woods, and then supernatural things happen. It is so good! It is so good. If you haven't seen it, it's so good. Well, that's my list, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Feel free to give it a thumbs up to let me know you liked this video, and hit the comments to let me know which ones are your favorites and what you're going to be watching this Valentine's Day. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to watch this now, and I'll see you in my next video.